Hello, hello, everybody. Welcome to Wellness Wednesday. We're so excited for today's guest. She's back. We have Nikki Shambly, who is back with us. If you guys missed the last session that she did, we're so glad that you're on today because it's going to be amazing. Just letting you know in advance, it's going to be amazing. So, today we're going to be talking about stress busters, as you guys can see on the screen. And we are so excited for Nikki Shambly to give us information. The last time she came on, she gave us so many gems, so many things. I was writing notes for days, you guys. So many things that we could take home and just kind of be able to manage our stress better. So without further ado, I'm going to stop talking because we have a really good presenter here who's going to give us so much information and really good tips on busting stress. So I'm going to hand it over now to Nikki Shambly. If you guys can give her a virtual round of applause. Round of applause.
Thank you, thank you, thank you. So I am going, there we go. Okay. So welcome everybody. We are going to start with just a check-in. So if you haven't seen this before, this is the blob tree. And so what I invite you to do is to think about which one of those blobs, and they're numbered, which one of those blobs are you feeling like today? And you can either drop it in the chat or you can unmute yourself and share that with us. So which one of those blobs do you feel like you're today? All right. Miss Bryant, you want to get us started while we waiting for the other folks?
Yes, absolutely. So I would say I'm 15.
Okay. They're waving.
Yes, that is me today. That is me.
So I think
And
I'm one. I'm smiling, but I'm climbing. But go ahead.
oh, come on, come on. We're still waiting for other people to comment. We do have some people that are watching and some people are
Oh,
kind of still
great.
joining. So please, you guys, interact as much as possible. We love to hear from you guys.
Yeah, I'm trying to see everybody. Let me go to people. Yeah, you're gonna have to help me because I don't see any people but y'all.
Yes. So from this angle, from this format, you won't be able to see anybody, but you will
Gotcha.
be able to see if they comment in the chat. So far, no comments yet, but that's okay. We'll let you guys still participate.
All right. Man, and you in position to unmute and tell us which blob you feeling today? He might not be. He's usually in motion. All right. So here we have a quote. Almost everything will work again if you unplug it for a few minutes, including you. And so I know when we hit April, we go into testing, we go into preparing all the ends of the year events, graduation, field day, the field trips, like the intensity of the year ramps up. And so what I really want to encourage people to do is to reflect and unplug, even if it's the 10 minutes you spend in our Zen dens. Um, if you have not visited the Zen Den on your campus, then step number one tomorrow is to locate the room and go sit in there for 10 minutes. I often come to campuses and I will do a meeting from the Zen Den because when you enter the space, the scents, the sounds, and the lighting just brings you down to a level where you can clear your head and function. So please take a few minutes tomorrow if you have not visited yours and go visit it and unplug for 10 minutes and it will change your day. All right. So one of the things I wanted to introduce is what I have been leaning into probably for a couple of years right now, and that I call the rule of three. So the rule of three works like this. I make a list of what I have to do tomorrow. So sometimes my list is crazy. It's 15, it's 20 things. But I make the list. Ooh, computer. There we go. Then I look over my list and I think what three things, if I finished, would leave me satisfied with my day. And I circle those three things. Those are the three things that I end the day content with doing and celebrating that I got done. So I'm just going to pause here and give people a moment. Hopefully, you're in a safe space where you kind of can think about what you have to do tomorrow and then think about what would be the three things if you finish would leave you feeling satisfied with your day tomorrow. So I'm just going to pause here. And again, if you're in a position, oh, Mr. Manning typed it. I asked you which blob you were on the tree, Mr. Manning. So I'm going to pause here. And if we have some guests who would like to share something that either one thing that if you could get it done tomorrow, you could celebrate it and go to bed in peace. I'll invite you to do that. Let me know if I'm missing anything or anybody. Okay.
Metric is typing.
I
Looking
see him.
good.
I see him. And I'm sure his list is probably longer than mine.
Yes, both of ours.
What about you, Miss Bryant? If you had one thing on your list that you could go to bed happy, I got it done, what would it be?
Oh, goodness. It would probably be one of the video projects that I have on my list to complete.
Mm,
Yes, if I get one of those done, I think I'll be satisfied. Just one.
just one. That's that's
Just one.
that's that's usually how it goes. That's how it goes. I think for me tomorrow, if I can align this PowerPoint with a pacing guide, so that now that I have finished it one time. I've done the event one time, and now I need to align with my feedback notes, the PowerPoint with the pacing guide, so that I can pass it off to someone else to facilitate the event. That would make me feel really good tomorrow night. All right. Do we have anybody else? Let's see. Did Manning finish what he wanted to say? I know he was typing. I don't see his. Did I miss his or he didn't finish?
He didn't finish.
Okay.
Sorry, I would say mine would be to I have a app I use called To Do. So I have things on there every day that I'm trying to like check off. And so that's really my goal. If I can get to the end of that list by the day, I've done something.
Okay. All right. Thank you. Thank you. Okay. So the next activity, and this will take us a few minutes, is there are things that we often stress about. And so sometimes if we just slow down our thoughts around those things and think about what do we control, what do we have little control over, and what do we have no control over at all, it helps us to reframe and focus on what is in my locus of control that I actually can spend my time and energy moving toward. So I'm just going to invite you to take a moment and think about what's stressing you out at this moment. You can draw this graphic if you're able to. Please don't have any accidents or anything, but feel free to draw this graphic. And in the outer ring, write the things that you have zero or little control over. And in the middle ring, write things that you can influence but not entirely control in the middle ring. And in the inner ring, write the things that you can mostly or entirely control. So I'll give a few minutes for you to think about those things, and then I'll invite some sharing of what we came up with. set a little timer over here so I don't lose track of time. And I'd say, let's go about 2 minutes. You don't have to go too heavy into what you control or can't control, because you'll have this to reflect back on your own when you have more time. Okay, set my timer for 2 minutes. About a minute and a half. All right, about a minute. All right, about 30 seconds. All right, 10 seconds. Get your last thoughts down. All right. So I will start out, and then anybody else who wants to jump in, please unmute, drop in the chat. So, what is stressing me out right now is trying to build my retirement home. That is really stressing me out. Um, what I have zero or little control over is the requirements. It is the land has nothing on it, so they require me to put in everything: water, electric, gas. And I have like no idea how to do that. The things I can influence but are not entirely over my control is um I guess searching for help. So that's kind of where I have some control, is even though it's a small town, the whole town is 82 people, there are a few people who are very friendly and agreeable to help me. And then what do I control entirely is the time frame, because some of the stress has been a unrealistic time frame on my part. And so readjusting the time frame is the only thing I truly control. All right. Miss Brian or Mr. Manning, do you want to chime in, or anybody in the chat?
For me, I would say the outer ring, zero things I have, or I have zero little control over would be um, making other people do what I need them to do. So I cannot make them do anything. And I've learned that uh, many years of leadership. In the middle, right, things that you can influence but not entirely control. I would say, when it comes to working with people, I can be a teammate, I can be a thought partner, I can be a consultant, to kind of get them to, hey, think of it like this, consider that. And then entering, right, which you mostly are entirely can control, and that's pretty much myself, and that's even a question mark at times. But yeah, I would definitely say my actions, sometimes my thoughts and my words. So that would be my reading.
All right. Thank you, Mr. Manning. All right. I saw Miss Clark time in well, Emelita, her new married name, chime in the questions. Miss Bryant, do you have anything you want to share? You stressed out?
No, honestly, I was gonna say the same thing that Metric shared. I was literally thinking the same thing. Like I have most control over myself, my mind, my actions, um, and of course my outputs and the things that I desire to do. I have no control over the other people or their
Mm-hmm.
actions,
Yeah, yeah,
or their mind, because everyone controls themselves. And I have some control over, I guess, the way things come out, you know?
yeah. Good, good. And so that just reminds us about where to put our energy. And so we can choose to put our energy into the places we have no control over, or we can choose to kind of slow down enough to say, what do I have control over? And more times than not, it is ourselves. And so really thinking about how do we build ourselves to be okay with the only thing that's tends to be a huge issue. How do I get okay with the only thing I truly control is me? Does anybody want to share what your experience was like processing through the things you had no control, some control, or most control over? So I'll just leave that open. Let's see. Got another comment in the Q&A. Good. What can I control? Good. I see you. I see you. So I think for me, a tool like this pushes me to slow down. It also pushes me to think thoughts that I wasn't admitting to myself. And so I think that's important, having the space to slow down to think through thoughts that were kind of like not wanting to admit to myself. Anybody else? What did you experience?
Yeah, I think it also kind of makes you think like, are certain things even worth stressing over once you realize you have no control or you only have, some control over it? Is it really worth the stress? So I think that, that was good to be able to process that.
Yeah. Yeah. And when you said that, Miss Bryant, I thought about what a good exercise this would be for a team, especially
Yes,
around mandates,
yes,
and really slowing yourself down to think about, okay, we've got this mandate as a team of what we've been tasked to do. And what do we
hmm,
have no control over? What do we have some control over, and what do we have the most control over, as a way to slow yourself down as a team enough to think about, okay, we have the most control over this to get whatever the mandate is done. Anything you wanted
yes.
to add, Mr. Manning?
Uh, no, I just think that for me, it starts with the inner circle,
Mm,
and just trying to really be mindful of my practices and my mindset, and how that then overflows into those outer rings, the middle and outer rings.
mm.
Um, and so I've learned to just start there, model what I expect, lead how I would want to be led, and to just really try to, um, you know, make sure that my mind state and my disposition is in a good place.
Thank you. Thank you. When you said that, Mr. Man, you reminded me of our Surgeon General had done an article, The Epidemic of Loneliness, and he
Hmm.
had talked about the social ecological model, where you go from the idea of I start with me, and then the ring goes out to how I am with other people, and then the ring goes out to how I am with the community, but it all starts with me. And so thinking about what Miss Bryan said, how do I make that decision about, is this something I truly need to worry about, or do I need to let it go? And I think that's important in this time, because I think when we get stressed, we start picking up on things that don't belong to us because we're just so stressed. We just want to grab onto some control of something. And so really thinking about, like, how do I take a step back and have like deal with myself and what I need to let go. So, any questions from anybody? I don't know what I just did. There we go. Any questions? Leave a few moments. If not, thank you. And my email address is on the slide, and most of you know how to track me down pretty easily.
So, Dr. Chambly, one question I have is, um, if you find yourself in that just frazzled space, um, is there something, obviously in that moment you may not be able to call a therapist or,
Mhm.
um, take some magic pill, but is there some type of technique, something I can do just in that moment to kind of center me and bring me down? I know we have our Zen bins and those are amazing. But if I can't get there and I'm just, in
Yeah.
my classroom or in my office and I just need to center myself there, what's something I could do, say, things to kind of help me to calm down?
Yeah, I think for me what's been working, because you have all of these techniques people put out there, journaling and playing music and and sometimes what helps me is just to ask myself, what do you need in this moment? Because I can take someone else's techniques that they're offering and apply them, but that may not be what I need in that moment. And so sometimes I just have to pause and say, what do I need in this moment? And then figure out, how do I advocate for that need to be met? And that has become sort of easier for me. And I may have in my head like my go-tos, like it may be using mine as music. Music is a big energy shifter for me. But that might not be in what I need in that moment. In that moment, I may need to journal, or I may need to call you, Mr. Manning, or and so just slowing myself down enough to say, what do I need in this moment? And then taking the steps to try to get that need met has been an easier thing for me. Good question. Miss Bryant, you got any questions for me?
I was thinking,
Yeah.
I was thinking because I know just thinking about just the climate, right, of our district and of our staff members right now, a lot of us are doing a lot of things. We wear very many hats, and sometimes it can be difficult to juggle it all. And so that builds stress. And so,
Mhm.
kind of going back to the diagram that you just showed us about things that are out of our control, things that we have some control over and most control, I guess, how would we, I guess, in situations like that, how would you? I guess, instruct someone on how to manage just the everyday life of just being a staff member here and having to wear so many hats.
Well, first, it's being a staff member anywhere.
Right. Yes. Yes.
I was
Absolutely.
sharing I was sharing with the counselors. My job has unlimited time off. Can you imagine that? So if you wake up and today's not the day, you just take off. Like you don't have to do a whole long song and dance. And even with that, I managed to burn out. And so I think it's for me, again, it's taking that step back and figuring out how to prioritize the things that like have to be done that day, the things that can wait a little bit later. And I've gotten really good about blocking out time and dedicating it to this specific thing. So I've got a number of projects going on in my, like, I call my 9 to 5, but then I have the things I lean in to do for DeSoto because I love DeSoto. And then I have my own LLC. And so it's like, I actually have gotten better about blocking out time and saying this is time dedicated to this. And letting people know, because that's the other thing. If you don't let other people know, I've blocked out this time for this. If it's an emergency, send me a Teams chat. But if it's not, this is kind of where I want to put my energy for these 2 hours. And then really my my other issue is just sitting down and putting the energy there. And so I've gotten had to get better about, okay, on my clock on my calendar at 1 o'clock it says I'm sitting down and I'm working on this project. Get in the chair and start working on that project. And so that's kind of what I've had to lean into because I managed to burn out with unlimited paid time off.
Yes, I know exactly what you mean. Trust me, I've been there. Been there for sure. But that's a good point, though. It just lets us know that one of the things that we can control is where we spend our time and how we spend our time.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah. So that's pretty good. That's good.
So, Dr. Shambly, one thing, I've heard about is, sometimes when you're having a moment, like breathing a certain way helps, but sounds like kind of weird to me. So I'm just curious to know, like, is there any validity or science to that about this whole notion of breathing and helping me in the moment to kind of deal with whatever my emotions may be?
Yes. And so there are um all kinds of breathing techniques. There's four square breathing, there's starfish breathing, there's belly breathing. And so there's also this really, like, if you go to YouTube, there's this really great graphic that you like, it goes in and out to actually help you monitor your breathing. All of our Zen dens have breathing bears, and so the breathing bear will breathe with you. Like, so there's a phenomenal science around breathing because as we've gotten older, we've gotten away from the deep breathing that actually resets our systems. And so one of the reasons we know babies and younger kids are usually at peace unless they're wet or hungry is because they constantly engage in that deep breathing that we don't do as we get older. And so really, to your point, Mr. Man, sometimes just stepping back and doing that big deep belly breath and then do it with a sound when you come out can shift, you know, and it can shift emotion.
Yeah, that's good to know. That's good to know. So something else I'm curious about is, and there could be varying opinions about this, but um, when do you know like you need
Mm.
help beyond you? Like, is there some sign? Like, how do I know when I need to, like, hey, I need somebody to tap in. I can't do this alone. Or yeah, just kind of talk about that. What are some things to look for when
Yeah.
we may be there?
So the general criteria is you're experiencing a disruption in being able to function. So you're having difficulty sleeping, you're having difficulty eating, you're having difficulty moderating your emotions. Because you can experience tons of emotions throughout the day, but if you find like the little things are sending you over the edge and that's not your normal emotional state, those are kind of your flags that I need to visit, a spiritual leader. I need to visit maybe a therapist, a social worker. Um, and so there's even I've been doing a lot of work around bibliotherapy. And so there's a woman, you tell her what you're experiencing, and she sends you a list of books and activities to work through. So if you're a person who's like, I kind of just want to work on this on my own before I tap somebody else in, that's available to you. And so the general standard is if there's begins to be a disruption in your normal functioning, then it's time to seek help. And that help can be a spiritual leader, it can be a therapist, it can be the lady you call for a bibliotherapy prescription, it could be a social worker, but really tapping someone else in.
It's good to know. Thank you.
Yeah. No, it's good for us to think about because we sometimes don't see those disruptions that we're having. And so sometimes it takes someone saying to you, all I did was ask you for the ketchup and you went to 10. Are you
Right.
okay?
Are you okay? Yes, absolutely. Where if there are no other questions, I believe that we can give people their time back. Okay. Well, thank you so much. I believe this was amazing. It's always amazing to hear from you. This
Thank
is
you.
absolutely, this is round two. Like I said before, the first one was amazing. This one was amazing. So we just can't wait to hear more from you. Every time you come, you give us great gems and things that we can take with us. So now that we have the tips on how to manage our stress and how to prioritize the things that we can control, some things that we can't control, and the things that we have some control over. Now we just take the nuggets that we've learned here today and then use them into we put them into practice. So we put them into our everyday life, we put them into our work life, we put them into our home life, and just to make sure that we manage our stress levels well, because we know that stress comes with so many medical problems down the road, and we want to make
Mhm.
sure that we remain healthy as we get our priorities done. So, thank you again, Nikki
You're
Chablis.
welcome. You're welcome.
Yes, yes. And thank you guys for joining us for another Wellness Wednesday. Round of applause, round of
Whoop, whoop. Visit
applause.
your Zen Den tomorrow.
Yes, go to your Zen Den. That is a plug. Please go to your Zen Den and take 10 minutes to de-stress, declutter your mind.
Go find a
All right.
breathing bear. We're gonna have a
Yes.
competition. Whoever puts their breathing bear on Facebook first, Mr. Manning will give you a gift card.
Facts,
We put it
facts.
out
I
there. You
will
have to
do that.
commit now.
I will do it.
All right, you guys. Thank you guys so much for joining us for Wellness Wednesday. We'll see you guys again. Have a good one.